That's fine.
Okay, let's do, so this time, back, and this time,
we've got a book.
do you want to say a real live book?
Sure.
That means she doesn't want to say it.
Go for it.
Okay. Hey everybody, we're back. And this time we've got...
A real live book.
What? Hey everybody, we're back. And this time we've got...
A book.
Wait, do it again. There we go. Pulling on leash. Reactivity towards other dogs. Nipping, biting, mouthing.
Bad dogs. Bad dogs.
Bark. Hang on one sec. Hang on, here we go. Barking. How do you get that one out?
All right, you ready?
I think I am.
Let's do this thing then.
Let's carve this bird.
Wow, we're like a shooting machine today.
I know.
So glad we shut that off. So.
I hope that stuff works. I hope Liz can work up some magic.
Or we're fucked.
Or else it'll just be like us like this, like, hey everybody, we got a new book.
All right. So.
Yep.
Let's jump in. There's
Yeah.
been some major drama on your front.
On my front.
Yeah.
Well, so things got a little interesting. Here's the deal, guys. Like, I never get involved with any of this stuff. Like, I get so many nasty messages on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. I get them everywhere.
Yeah.
And I just don't participate. I ban and delete, and even at T3, I teach ban and delete.
Yep.
This one was something that was a little bit different. It was
Stuck in your craw?
Stuck in my craw a bit. There's been other folks that have really pushed to really want to engage with me that I've just completely blown off because I felt that engagement would help them. This was something where I felt like, for one, I felt like it would not help. I felt like it was kind of a check that the person needed to get. And I also found out that a lot of people were being bullied by this person. And so I'm not a big fan of bullies. And so I wanted to stand up and have a word about that. But I also wanted to there were a lot of reasons. I knew that she had been affiliated with Dogtra, which is one of the biggest e-collar companies.
I was just reading you said that she actually asked a question on here.
Yeah.
And you said you didn't realize it was her?
I didn't go through this. Alexis texted me today and said, by the way, did you see that she's got a question on Q&A Saturday?
Oh, but...
And so when I went to go write this down at Starbucks, I was like, oh, there she is.
So you didn't ban and delete, you haven't banned her yet?
That probably came in
just recently?
No, I think I blocked her on Shauna Shea, and then she's probably snuck in on the TGD. That's probably TGD right there.
She's still into it.
She's gunning.
And don't ask who endorses mine because there's plenty. Oh, someone wrote, because every owner of an aggressive, reactive dog has trained retrieve as their #1 priority. Oh my God, you killed her with that.
It's kind of the deal, so this trainer who's, questioned about whether she's that stable or not.
No,
she's been around a long time. She was affiliated with one of the biggest companies in the dog training world. She's got 1 million videos out, and she's actually got a lot of followers. So for me, it was like when she got on in a public space and shared something really toxic and really mean and really nasty, I was like, I'm not hurt by it. Trust me, there was not a moment of oh, how could she say that? But I really felt like I'd love for everybody to know that this is how this person's operating, so people can make decisions about whether they want to work with her.
Yeah.
So Dogtra, the company, can decide, like, do we want to still be affiliated with her? And later we found out that they had broken ties with her a couple years back.
She's really not a stable human being.
Yeah, regardless, all I know is that I saw that, and there's also a part of me, I'm kind of going through a phase right now where I'm really trying to, because of this like big friction, you know, going on, even though she's in the more balanced world, I really am trying to share with owners kind of what's going on behind the scenes. I don't want to bum them out, and I don't want to make it a drama scene, but I think a lot of people just think the dog training world is just like we're all partying and buddies, and but the reality is the dog training world is incredibly divided, and there's a lot of toxic, not stable, not kind people. And so I pick very carefully who I will engage with and who I will participate with and who I won't. And this has just felt like one that felt right for me. It felt like
your calling.
Not my calling, but it felt like
it called you.
No, it didn't even ring. It just felt like it. Honestly, when you have, and this might sound poncy, but when you have a bit of a profile and you've got a bit of an audience that follows you, feel a little sense of responsibility. Not like chest beating, like let me show you, but a little bit of responsibility to just be like, I think I've put enough like credit in the bank of being like a balanced, kind, nice person that's not out to like create drama, that when something does come up, to be able to say like, I've got enough like credit in the bank to say like, this is kind of not nice and this is kind of cheesy, and I just would like everybody to know what's going on out there, and anybody contemplating working with this person, approach with caution, right? And Dogtra, if you're working with her, like you probably shouldn't be, because so many people like really like pride themselves on that product, and then the affiliation like deteriorates. So many people on there were like, I don't want to use Dogtra anymore.
Outdated website.
It was from 2016, so it wasn't crazy old, but they hadn't updated it yet. And to their credit, they were like stand up, like
it came right on.
They messaged on TGD, which was fantastic.
They commented on your thing. Right?
Yeah. Sorry. They commented, and then they called me, and I haven't had a chance to call them back. Well, actually, I did call them back, but they were already out of the office. I think they're in a different part of the country. But just the fact they took the time, I thought was a real stand-up move. But it was really about a strategic decision. Like a lot of people, I think, thought that I was just like, I can't take it anymore.
Exactly.
But there was the furthest thing from it. I looked at it, I laughed, and I thought, what should I do with this? And I've thought about it for a while, and I thought, you know, this person represents, in my mind, this company and has a big profile, and I want to make sure that other human beings know that this is how she's comporting herself. She's threatening and like
but
all sorts of
videos. She's saying them. It's not like she's trying to hide that stuff.
What do you mean?
She's being really openly like that in her video. She's not like a stable human being who's like
there's no undercover
hiding.
action.
No, she's like doing videos and like misspelling everything and saying weird things on like there's not like she's not.
And I get it, and honestly, like I don't want to hurt her. I don't want bad stuff for her. But like life corrects you when you misbehave, and that's just the way it is. And if you're going to be, and I'm going to say this, but if you're going to be dumb enough to put something in a social platform like YouTube, and you can do it in all caps, which just like automatically like waves the kind of like.
I think there's substance involved.
Maybe.
It doesn't feel normal.
But once again, that's on you, not you guys. But I mean, like
I get it.
whoever it is, you know.
I'm just saying this. It's not. It doesn't feel normal. You get a lot of people that like you can feel they're just like being mean or cruel on purpose. Like just like this one just feels a little.
And if that's the case, then you know she comes to a point where she works through her stuff and says says I'm sorry. I'll be the first person to be like, I got your back. Let's help out. You know. But honestly, I feel a certain responsibility with where I'm at to share what I see in certain moments. And there were a few people that got a little bit on their high horse, fancy pants style, and were a little opportunistic about like jumping on my page, who don't ever engage on my page, and then trying to rub my nose in it and be like, you're not really walking your talk. So folks like you, sorry guys, you go to the cornfield, you're toast. So I'm very selective, I'm very smart about what I do. I don't just haphazardly just put stuff out there. You saw in my responses, I'm very cautious, I'm very careful about what I do, and there's no just kind of like knee-jerk emotional reaction. And so I stand by what I did, and I feel really okay about it. And I love that it ended up creating a situation where Dogtra actually got to stand up and be like an awesome brand.
That's cool.
You know, that's one of the coolest things is like Dogtra's like got to make a really good choice. And
probably got changed a lot of minds about dog tricks. They were starting to fall.
Absolutely. And here's the last part, and we'll close this out, is that as this was going on, I found out, and I mentioned this earlier, a bunch of really nice, talented trainers were all being bullied by her. And they were just keeping quiet. And they, you know, maybe they didn't want to get into this and have, I get it, like you don't want the drama, but man, that just, it fucking sucks. And sorry, excuse my language, but like knowing that there's nice people out there being bullied and they're just kind of like, I'll take the heat. I would rather take the heat and take a bullet for the team and be like, here's what's really going on. And then all of a sudden the stuff started coming out. So it's no big deal. It's all dog trainer drama stuff.
Silliness.
Yeah, it really is silliness. And my hope is that she finds her way and finds happiness of whatever that looks like for her, and ends up putting her time in a more valuable, positive space rather than just going after people in a negative way. She's not going to get anything good out of that, you know? Nothing valuable happens out of that. So anyways, so that's that. That's a big, long intro. You started that one, or you just like stirred the pot right up. So
had to get it out.
Yeah.
Get it out there.
But we're good. No anger. We're not freaked out. We're not bummed out. So what else we got going on? The book.
Book is done.
The book is done. We just shot a little video.
Yep.
Yeah, we just shot a little video that you guys will be seeing soon. It's completely okayed and green lighted, and so like guys,
well, I guess we should just really quick
give them a quick little
just
peep
everything
show.
Else we need to do quick because we don't want to have to rush these questions. Guys, this is the book.
All high gloss, high quality paper, photographs.
Really nice. Really nice. And then we've got the cover. Help me out. Dun, dun, dun. This is our soft proof. Came in the mail. All Sean has to do is check it over and say yes to the dress, and then we're out.
And I think that will be done tonight. And who knows? Maybe by the time Santa Claus comes around, there'll be a book in your stocking.
Everybody's
just
favorite
kidding.
Christmas present.
Just kidding.
All right,
Okay.
UK
so,
trip.
yeah, me and Jeff Gelman. Jeff just like texted. He's like, "Do you want to do a seminar in Israel?" I'm like, "Israel? Jeez, like a one-off."
You guys should like travel the world together.
Who knows? We might, but I was like, that's a long flight. There better be a lot of seminars leading up to like, just like, you know, I'd love to see Israel, but like,
He probably just wants to see the world. He's trying to do it.
Right. He's gonna drag me around and like make it happen. So UK trip is happening. We've got tickets selling like hotcakes. Things are going really nicely. You know, I'm sure we're gonna catch some heat. I'm sure it's gonna be a little friction filled, but the cool thing is a lot of people are standing up and like signing up and are bold enough to come down to a situation that might have a little friction, that some people might hard time them, friends might hard time them, neighbors, whatever. And I just love people are being courageous and bold and saying like, screw it, I'm going to go down and work on my dog, and I'm going to go learn, and I'm going to bring tools back for my dog, or for the rescue, or for the shelter, or for the fall, whatever it is. So that's super duper awesome. It's in the books. It's like done. It's happening. So I also put up a post real quick today called I think Who Wants to Kill Your Dog? And I'd love for all you guys to check it out. Even if you see this a week later, go back and search that Facebook post. It's a video, and it's really diving in deep into the ironies of who's recommending regularly that dogs be killed. The irony is it's the people that supposedly are the big advocates for your dogs, the people that don't want you to use tools that are painful, the people that are going to recommend drugs for any dog problem or issue or anything like that, the people that don't want to ever say no or correct a dog. those are the people that are having dogs put down regularly. And I don't mean like, oh, this happens once in a while. This happens all the time. Somebody asked me a question, I don't know if you saw it, but said, in your best guess, and it's hard to guess, but said, your best guess, what percentage of clients that have had other trainers, peer positive trainers, come in have been told to have their dog put down? I said maybe 50 to 75%.
Yeah, probably around
Does that sound?
Yeah.
Somewhere in the ballpark. So that's an incredibly high number of dogs that, if owners would have taken that advice,
Oh yeah.
could end up
And
with.
they're all like, no, I can't do that as my. But I know there's some great people out there that do, because it's an expert telling you to.
That's the thing,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, and that's what the video gets into. So check it out if you can. And then I was just going to say that, you know, do you know who sang the song "Cat Scratch Fever"? Because I haven't quizzed you in a long time.
Oh no.
No? Okay, cool. So we'll wait. You really don't know?
No.
Do you know the song though?
No.
You never sang it at the Roger?
No.
Cat Scratch Fever.
No, that's not Roger. That's not Roger
No?
material.
Okay. There's no guesses on cat scratch fever or
No.
anything like that?
I was gonna say Cat Stevens or Elvis.
Okay, so we'll move on. So those are nowhere in the ballpark. He's a hunter. He can be controversial.
He's a hunter. Sting?
Sting's a hunter of hearts.
Exactly. I don't know.
No, okay.
No, I got
We'll
it.
get back to it later.
Okay.
Anyways, okay. So let's get into the first question before we both pass away.
Okay. Question number 1. This comes from Casey Naklik.
She might be up there for the most questions ever asked.
She's
or,
badass. She's
or
like,
answered.
I'm gonna get a whole education. just
Complimentary style.
Great. Yep. Hello, Sean and Laura and Baby Forrest, if he's around. He's not. He's with his dad because we were shooting something earlier that required no baby sounds. So I feel a little naked. Where's the baby?
He's okay.
I've got a bit of a quandary and know
Yeah.
you're the best people to ask. For once, it's not about Trigger. It's about my older dog, Noah. He and Trigger are kept in an X-pen type thing together at night in the loft outside my bedroom. Lately, Noah has been getting up and moving around a lot right around 5 in the morning. He's not really jumping or whining or anything like that, but the noise of him tapping around on the hardwood floor wakes me up. Crating him is not an option because his arthritis really bothers him if he's confined to a tight space. So my question is, should I just accept this behavior as a restless old man thing? Would I be way out of line in tapping him with the e-collar to get him to settle? Would he even understand what he's supposed to do when he's corrected? He's been checked out by the vet and he's perfectly healthy. I don't want to be unfair to him, but I am a super light sleeper and hate being woken up before the alarm goes off at 6. Love you both. Thanks.
So first, Casey.
And someone said put a rug down, and she said I'm not doing a rug for a number of reasons.
Yeah, there's a little conflict there. She was like,
Yeah.
get off my jock about the rug. Anyways,
Get off my chair.
Casey.
I thought it was kind of a good. I mean, I would maybe suggest.
No, it was a good suggestion,
you
but
put a soft
Casey came back pretty hard. I was like, oh, she's like,
Yo.
yeah, I'm asking them, not you. So, anyways, if you want to work on your light sleeping issues, you can rent out my loft in New Orleans, where the train drives
All right.
through the living room 5 times a night, and will bring tears to your eyes. Earplugs work fantastic. Like real foam earplugs, here's a quick fix. Real foam earplugs, boom, like the kind that construction folks work, you might just sleep like a baby.
And a rug.
She said it, not me. Okay, so here's what I got, and then we'll let Laura jump
don't
in.
mess with Casey though.
Right?
Casey's tough.
So, truth is, age brings on a ton of changes. Restlessness, tension, confusion, etc. I've just gone through a bunch of my guys getting older, right? So, Oakley passed 2 years ago, Junior just passed, Belle's getting older, and I really saw a lot of changes. You saw them as well as I did,
yeah.
going from playful, easy, things making sense and logical, kind of consistent behaviors,
Yeah.
to confusion,
Yeah.
restlessness, a lot of different stuff that really felt kind of age-centric. So that's something I'd really take into consideration. I don't think she gave the age, but I've just seen it so much with my guys, and to correct them if they're struggling with being able to just relax because things are uncomfortable, or they like Junior was so restless, you know, Junior was always restless to some extent, but as he got older, like unbelievably restless, could not stand still, even when his body was like, I can't take another step. He's like, yes, you can. So basically my suggestion would be like to give the guy a break, unless you know he's being a brat, unless you know like him super well and you know that like, oh, I've seen him do this in other contexts where he's like hard timing me and like now he's deciding it's time to get up or it's feeding time. So, but if that's not his style, if his style has largely been to be a good dog and kind of work within your lifestyle, then personally, I'd really take a hard look at the aging process, starting to change things. Like both of us, like even CJ's getting older, you know, and so Laura's had like some issues with confusion, right, at the park, where confusion never existed before. I had the same problem with Junior, where he couldn't, you know, he's on e-collar, and I would correct him, and he would like panic and start running to somebody else because he couldn't figure things out. So, anyway. Did CJ just jump the fence to maul somebody? There he goes. Anyways.
They always will pet him.
Okay. So, anything to add to that?
I think it's right on. I think it's that you just kind of gotta let it go, because I think being corrected is not, it's just not fair at that point, especially because he's just not doing.
I mean, if you're saying he's like 3 and he's elderly, then we got a different story. But I mean, if he's like 10, I don't know how big he is, but if he's 10, 12, 13, things start changing. The problem is you don't know it and they can't tell you. You just start to see things shift.
And you said like the arthritis, he can't be in a confined space because he needs to move around for the arthritis. Like that is a good, you know, he might need to be moving around to try to like not
release
feel,
some of that. Yeah.
So.
And you know how old folks get. Old folks get up early.
That's true.
Right?
Real early.
Like,
they eat dinner at like 3 p.m.
Elderly folks are like, time to get up. Right? There's people to go like harass. So, sorry, any elderly folks. Do you guys know my theory real quick? I'm just going to throw this one out. Casey, this has got nothing to do with you. But I was driving behind somebody, this elderly person the other day, and they were crawling. And do you know my theory?
No.
So, not my theory, but my like mantra to myself is that when I get old, I'm going to drive faster than excuse me, because like you got this much time. Like I'm trying to get from here to here. I ain't got time to be like messing around. Like so if I'm ever gonna drive and break speed limits, that's when I'm gonna do it. So I just want to get it out there. Like if you see an old guy in like a fancy car, like lead footing it, that's gonna be me. I might be headed to IHOP. Like, hey, I'm getting those pancakes.
Still,
discount.
You never know. It could be your last pancakes.
Absolutely. And if you wait an extra 5 minutes, you might miss that pancake.
Speed up.
So anyway, a little aside, excuse the language, but it needed that extra push.
Okay.
So you agree with me though that we think Casey should let that roll.
Wow, that scared me. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. Don't be mean to your dog. Okay.
You can also just get a rug. Question number 2 comes from Shanti, or Shanti, or...
Ashanti.
I think it's Shanti. It's pretty. I love it. Shanti. Hey, Sean and Laura.
When I have my sex change, that's going to be my name.
Shanti. That's good.
Me and Bruce Jenner. We're going to
my gosh, wow.
hit the bars together.
Good call. I did a nice Skype session with Jeff 3 weeks ago, which finally kept me starting.
Was it really nice?
Of course it was.
I'm just teasing.
Started working with e-collar. She was outside. Oh, so my just outside scanning, nervous, fearful dog is now walking in a nice heel with a loose leash a little bit behind me.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do all the basics, crater, wait for food, basic commands, cutting back affection.
Yep.
She's a 2 on a mini. Outside, she's from 2 to 4. I correct the big back head turns with a 7 to 10, but I feel like I'm nagging her all the time and keep her stuck in this nervous state of mind. Do you expect a nervous scanning dog to check in, like looking at you while sitting? I'd love to have this because it relaxes her. I made a little practice with focus work, like low level tap, and she's checking in but not holding it. I don't know if I'm on the right track to keep going. We'll be so happy to get some advice on how Sean said in the last Q&A, get rid of the anxiety and maybe some training protocols.
What does Sean know?
Stuff.
I can't even do a forced retrieve. Don't listen to me. When I get the retrieve down, then we can talk about this stuff.
So weird. That's such a funny word.
I'm gonna work on, wait till I get Manny to retrieve.
Oh my god. You could. Can't you just, what is a retrieve?
What's funny,
mean
you
you
wanna
get
know what's really
something?
funny? Is that
Oh my gosh, Cujo can do a retrieve.
Of course he can. Should we pretend that I trained him?
Oh, you teach them to retrieve?
Yeah, it's a complicated thing actually, she raises labs for actual retrieving gun dog work and things like that.
Oh, like ducks?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can tell the depth of her sport dog knowledge. Anyways.
I can this is the coolest thing ever. I can take a toy, I show it to Cujo, and I hide it. And he does not know. He's sitting on the porch, and I hide it anywhere. And I say, bring, and that dude goes and finds it.
Yeah.
I will put it in the dryer, and he'll find it.
Really?
Oh my god, anywhere. I'll put it high up, and I'll hear him barking, and I go out, and he's like,
wow.
yeah, he's smart. I taught him that. It's forced retrieve. It's a forced.
So anyways, one of the other points that was really funny was like, you don't even see his own dog. Where's his own dog? And all I want to do is bring up Manny and do like really like cheesy funny tricks with Manny, you know, like a forced retrieve, like set up like some kind of retrieve where Manny like goes out, like gets a bone and kind of like looks back and like
awesome.
she wanted to challenge me. One of the big challenges in her video last night was like speed. I'll challenge you, O'Shea, to speed because that's what you want in a retrieve. How fast it happens.
It's not stable. Okay.
And
answer Shanti.
Sorry. Did I get a little bit off track? Anyways,
got long in the tooth.
but I do want to get Manny to do a forced retrieve.
Oh, do it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Do it.
I mean, he'll. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So Shanti is quite an episode, right?
Yes.
So you worked with Jeff. You did e-collar walk. You're worried about nagging. You're worried about, and you're looking for more eye contact, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I remember everything right. So let's see. Basically, I mean, I think our philosophy is if you're having to correct repeatedly, you are almost two things. If you're having to correct repeatedly, you're either working too low and nagging, or you're too hot, meaning too close proximity wise to the dog, to where the dog is like too amped up, too over. I hate that fucking phrase, over threshold, because all the pure positive folks are going to go ballistic. But anyways, so if your dog is too worked up because of proximity, then you're going to need higher levels. So the two things that I'd be looking at would be, are my levels too low, and am I too close to the other dog or the target or the trigger, whatever's problematic, right? So
too late too.
Yeah. Of course. But like with eye contact stuff, so for a lot of people are, you know, believe it or not, except for a few people that say nasty things, but a lot of people about us and our work say like, how do you get the eye contact? Because we don't use a lot of food with this stuff. Right. And there's a lot of, they'll see dogs, like if you see Daisy and she's at a corner, she's like this. And everybody's like, how do you get that eye contact? And you get that eye contact by being really clear with the dog about, like, if the dog's got reactivity, you become the safe spot, right? So you can train a watch me or a look, and you can use food, and Laura's done that with Hercules. But what we typically do is just, if the dog looks over at the other dog, we say no, and we tap the button. And if the dog looks over again, we raise the level a little bit, no, and tap the button. The dog goes, oh crap, I'm not supposed to look. What do? They're like, okay, I can't look there. Well, how about if I just look at you? Perfect. And we mark it with good, and the dog learns that's the best place to look. Look at Sean, or look at Britt, or look at Henri, look at any of the crew, and that's the safe spot. Because they know when the dog walks by, it's hard for them because they keep loading up, because the eye contact loads them up and gets them into a reactivity space. So if they can keep their focus on you, then you can be in a good spot. The problem is with a lot of dogs with reactivity, like Daisy that we're working with right now, food would not even like matter. Daisy is so intense about her reactivity that if you have a dog that's like anywhere near that kind of level, the food stuff's not going to work. Herc is mild. Hercules is mild. So Laura can use, and he loves food. He does. So you can use food to help create more focus and things like that, and then the e-collar to enforce it. But we do a very simple thing, which is just like if you look at the dog and we know that that causes you problems and you load, we say no and we tap the button, we find the level you care about the dog, and then the dog goes, you're the safe spot to look at. And all of a sudden we've got this great eye contact, right? And everybody's like, how'd you do it? We just became the safe spot. Like, keep it simple. But if you're too low, if you're too late, and if you're too close to the target, you're going to struggle, and you're going to either feel like you're nagging, your dog's going to react no matter what, you're going to just struggle. So you have to adjust those.
To close it out, Shanti, I think my biggest note would be that you had a 30-minute Skype with Jeff just 3 weeks ago. That means by the time this comes out, you're just going to be a month into this. Your dog, how long has your dog been practicing, being nervous out there? Just give it time. Just keep working on it. Your dog's just getting used to the e-collar stuff.
Good advice.
Give lots of space. Like, if in 6 months you're still seeing stuff, then let's talk and let's get back. But you guys are like brand new into this. Just give her a break, give your dog a break, and give yourself a break. Nothing, although balance training tends to do things and like that gets results faster. The process of like changing a dog's state of mind, that takes time. Like us doing stuff in a 4-week board and train, that's just the beginning for our owners. So you this is brand new for you guys.
That's some super solid advice, and I think it's really easy to feel like after you've had a Skype session and using the right tools that we should be moving like this. But boy, like Laura said, how long has that pattern been going on? So changing those patterns, turning them around, breaking them, and creating new ones, like there's a reason why we've got Daisy for 6 weeks. Because her patterns are so deep. Like, we're the good dog. We should be able to turn around 2 weeks. We're out there every day working to try and reprogram those patterns. So give yourself a lot more time, like Laura said. That's a really good suggestion.
Cool, thanks. Question number 3 comes from Ryan. Oh, Ryan, T3 grad.
We haven't started the show, by the way.
Oh shoot, we didn't do the intro.
Do it at the end.
Okay.
We'll turn the tables on.
Okay, right. Hey, Sean and Laura. Man, it's been a while since I've asked a question on here. I hope you guys are doing awesome.
Did you say he's a T3 grad?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So here we go. What do you guys do if you have a client you're working with, like say doing one-on-ones with, who has a dog walker come in, due to long work days? Due to long work days. I'm sorry. Would it be best to see if the dog walker would mind coming to the owner's home for one session to show the walker how to put the collar on, walk the dog, or is that too much to ask for? And what if I'm unable, due to time restraints, to have the walker handle the dog to the same degree of precision as the client? Or what if the client is totally awesome, but the walker won't come in for a session, or is against? Ooh, I'm gonna answer this one. Unless you want to.
No, jump in. I like the
joie de vivre.
The je ne sais quoi.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Ryan, this is a great question. Okay.
Cat scratch fever. Oh, God, sorry.
So, here's the deal. When you have your client, I'm going to go down the line. When you have your client, you're teaching them. You have to remind them that they are spending money on this with you to get their dog in a good space.
Yes.
And that if part of the day the dog's practicing crazy stuff, like not being on the prong or not keeping up the rules with the dog walker, it's going to undermine everything. They're going to have to work twice as hard when they get home. And it may keep the dog from being able to get better on the walk at all. So it's absolutely non-negotiable that the walker does use the collar. So what I've talked to owners about that have walkers that are like, oh, I don't think he'll use the collar, I'm like, you should probably get a new walker. Of course it's up to them, always, but they need to know that like literally it's probably a waste of money for them to be working with you if they're going to have the walker go out and be like
willy-nilly
loose
about
leash
it.
willy-nilly.
Yeah.
And meeting dogs on the walk and all that stuff. So make sure that is really clear, and it doesn't have to be harsh. You're not trying to like force anything on them, but just let them know like, hey, if they're not going to go out there and use that, it's a problem. If you have an hour and you want to say, hey, if you guys, say the walker's totally on board, oh yeah, no, I totally love that, then you can say, you know what, the next session, if you guys want to, you can bring your walker and we'll work with both of you together, It's not really your responsibility to have to like train the walker totally on his own, but if the walker wants to come along and hang out and chill the session. But more than anything, what I do is tell the owner that they have to train the dog walker. So you can't sometimes spend enough time with the walker, and maybe the walker won't pick it up quick, and it's not your responsibility to spend too much time doing that. But definitely tell them that everything that you're teaching them, they're going to teach the walker. And the other part of it is you should have a recommendation in your area of a balance trainer walker.
Yeah.
That you can refer
doesn't
out.
mean they have to be a balance trainer, but a walker that's utilizing balance trainer tools and approaches, and like our Sean too.
Yeah.
Right. Anybody who comes through the doors and like, we've got this walker, really nice, but they don't. We're like, call Sean too, or David in Santa Monica.
Yep.
Two folks that we know will use all the tools. They do all the exercises, and you know what? The dogs actually get better rather than worse.
Yep.
So that's the cool thing. And if you sell that, I think that's a cool point to sell the owners on. Like, if you get a good dog walker, if you get a good dog walker, and they can actually help your dog move forward and be like another part of the training component, that when you come home, your dog's in a better gear than when you left him.
Absolutely.
Which is pretty damn cool.
So get that referral system and let them know that it's imperative that the walker uses the tools, and then just have them train the walker. And any walker worth their salt should be like, hey, I want to do anything to make you guys happy. And it's pretty simple. Once the dog's taught on the prong collar, all they need to do is just correct and do little stuff. They don't need to like start the process all over. So
I think that's perfect advice. My only thing that I was going to add to it is that it really comes down to how committed and determined the owners are.
Yeah.
Because if they really want the results, like, there's no way they would want somebody to come in and undermine like the money and the time, the effort that they put in.
Yep.
So if you present it in the right way, don't put pressure on them. Don't say it in a way like, well, you're not going to get, like, obviously I know you're a smart guy, but presentation's important, and let them know, like Laura said, like, I like to present it like, I know these are your goals. I know you want to be able to take your dog to this, to an outside cafe.
Yeah.
I know you want to be able to walk your dog without any problems. I know you want to be able to take your dog on camping trips. Cool. So these are your goals. If you have a dog walker that's coming through and he's allowing anything to go down, it's going to really diminish the chance of you achieving those goals. Now, if you got a dog walker who's really kicking butt, then that elevates the opportunity or the chance of you hitting those goals, and at a quicker clip. So I like to put it on the owners to allow them to kind of own that responsibility. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And you're saying basically the same thing, but it's just the wording can be really valuable in how people interpret it versus like, you need a new dog walker because your dog walker is going to mess things up.
Ryan's super sensitive.
No, but this, like, beyond Ryan, a lot of trainers watch this, and a lot of trainers can get into kind of defensive, harsh modes about like, well, this person doesn't know what they're doing,
Right.
and then you deliver it like that, and the owners feel defensive and weird and uncomfortable.
We've had him for 2 years.
So the presentation, that's the
Definitely
magic.
important.
Yeah. So nice work.
Cool. Thanks.
I barely interrupted. How about, is it on?
Yeah.
How about Klinger?
How about
Klinger?
stop it with these old songs? All right.
No recollection? It's not a song, but
No.
character on TV.
No, nothing.
One of the most successful shows of all time.
I'm 20 years younger than you.
Don't you throw that in my face.
Just saying.
No, I'm just.
No,
this part of this is just curious. It's not like beating you up.
I'm not like holding back. Oh yeah, actually. Yeah.
And then it comes off. She's like, I know.
Yeah, no.
Okay, just checking.
All right. Here's the. Should I read the whole question?
I'll let you figure this one out.
Question number 4 comes from Kelly.
Notice the grin.
Kelly says, here's a question.
What the fuck is wrong with you, Sean? No, I'm just teasing.
Why do you disable comments on YouTube?
Yes.
Actually, I'm going to try saying it like she's saying it nice.
Okay.
Okay. Here's a question. Why do you disable comments on YouTube? Who does that? Only someone who expects nothing but bad reviews. I have quite a few comments for that awful work. You cannot train a
My awful work.
Yeah. You cannot train a recall, much less anything else. None of you can. Even do a simple trained retrieve. Get some balls and stop disabling the comments. You might learn something about dogs. You are one of the worst I have seen.
Is that a disparaging comment?
No, she's just asking.
She's just asking.
Yeah. All right, you have 5 minutes.
What about my balls?
Just get some.
Just get some? Where do you get that? Cujo, I could borrow some of his. CJ, I need what you got, bud. Okay.
CJ.
He's got big balls. I mean, you know, comes with the territory. Right. Anyways, okay, guys. So that's obviously a question from somebody who's not a huge fan. So let's talk about YouTube a little bit, and we put that question in there partially because it's funny going along with everything that's just gone on, and I'm sure you guys, if you look at our Facebook page, you'll see who's the name and all that good stuff.
Painful.
It's
to read.
Yeah. So, but there's so much anger and so much like angst and nastiness. But here's the deal. So with with almost all of our YouTube posts, except for the ones that have slipped by, there's just a few that have slipped by that we haven't gotten to, because typically we turn off comments on all of them. Yeah, disable comments. But there's some, because we've got 500 videos that have slipped through, right? And so the reason is that we disable comments is because YouTube, out of all the platforms, out of all the social platforms out there, is kind of like the nastiest, most toxic Wild West out of all of them.
I think more than anything, it's just the Wild West.
It's bizarre though, but I mean, and I'm not the only one who says this.
No.
A lot of people disable comments, and a lot of people, like, if they don't disable them, don't even look at them, because there's something, and I'd love to like spend some more time like really trying to like get into it and evaluate it, but there's an anonymity. You know what I mean? There's an anonymity, I think, and maybe that goes with like how you can trace back, like I don't know that much about it, but how you can trace back profiles and find out, you know, from people. I'm not sure, but all I know is that
anyone can create. There's no like, you don't talk about personal information if you create an account on YouTube.
Yeah.
Unless you have your own channel.
Right.
But a lot of people can just create a channel and.
Right. Yeah. So all I know is that we've been on social media for a long time, like 8 or 9 years. Started with Facebook, and then it's grown and grown, and Twitter, and grown. And it doesn't take a long time to start seeing like where you're seeing the most nasty, toxic, mean stuff over and over again.
Random stuff like, hey, it's the guy from Breaking Bad. Like, not like, it doesn't like add to the conversation. Or like someone will be like, is that a red leash? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like.
But you get a ton of hate, right? It's a real.
You also get random.
You get random stuff, but it's a really safe place. Like the pure positive folks, like there's the walk video, and I think that's one of those that need to be like disabled. And it's like the most. Like
simple,
but it's one of the most pleasant prong collar walk videos with that little, I can't remember the dog, and it's like light pressure. It's a really great video for teaching people how to work with dogs on a prong collar. I'm telling you guys, if you go to that video, I think it's called Learn to Train the Good Dog Way. It might be fun for you guys, right?
Yeah.
Learn to Train the Good Dog Way, the walk.
Yeah.
And go through it and start looking at it. Or go to Learn to Train the Good Dog Way, like How to Fit a Prong Collar, parts 1 and 2. And like, just go through the comments and look at them, and you'll see the occasional like, oh, thanks, this helped so much. But 99% you're gonna see, you son of a bitch, you monster. I hope that like dark ages, you should be drugged with this prong ball. I mean, it's like, it's really, really bad stuff. And I don't like, Facebook occasionally will do that. Instagram, almost never. I don't really play around on Snapchat. So my 3 main like kind of platforms are YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And out of those, like, and I also do WordPress for blogs and stuff, but out of those, YouTube is like consistently toxic.
Yeah.
I can guarantee, like I get notifications, they show up, and I'm like, here we go.
Yep,
and I click on it just because I'm like, it doesn't really bother me, but I look at it and I'm like, you son of a bitch, you should have this done to you.
That's where this one showed up, right?
Yeah. So the screenshot that I posted that created this whole big hullabaloo came exactly from one of my YouTube videos, right? And one that honestly I'm most proud of.
Wow.
It's a prong collar video.
Oh, wow.
There's no e-collar, and all she does is e-collar work and pager work with the e-collar.
Okay.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like it'd be one thing if it was like, that's terrible e-collar work. But it was like, it's one of the best prong collar videos that's helped a ton of people.
Yeah.
And that's where she kind of like uncorked and lost her marbles on it. And so that's where I did the screenshot. But my point is, I don't mess around with comments on YouTube because I don't feel here. It's really cool to talk about this because it allows me to go deeper. I don't feel like there's a real community there. Oftentimes, like Facebook,
Very like haphazard.
yeah, Facebook, I really feel a community there. That's a lot of the same people, and new people show up as well. It's not just like, oh, safety and nobody gives me a hard time. There's people that will show up and ask hard questions and things like that. But there's a community, there's a family, and same thing goes on with Instagram. And YouTube's a great channel to push out information and let people see stuff. But as far as responses, man, it's just I'm sorry, but it just seems like mean stuff. I just see so much mean stuff that we typically just disable them. What were you gonna say?
We gotta go.
That's it?
You. Love you, Kelly. You're amazing. Yeah.
I can retrieve a dozen donuts
No.
in a blink of an eye.
I know. You should have said that. Okay. Question number 5 comes from Avishay. Avishay says, which disability is the easiest to deal with in dogs? We are considering taking a dog that no one wants, and we keep seeing deaf, blind, and 3-legged dogs. Probably the smallest problem of all. We don't get why people are so afraid of 3 legs. We want to know that we will be able to give him what he needs and that he learns to live in a home. What do you say?
Okay, I'll jump in, you can finish. Okay. So for me, I wrote a little list of what I think are the from easiest to hardest.
Okay.
Right? And people, please don't get pissed off and don't YouTube out on me and don't be like, I've got one of these and they're the greatest. So I get it. Everybody,
they're all great.
Everybody's got a different thing, right? So like Larry Winget says, the exception, like yes, there's exceptions, but that doesn't mean that it changes
and you mean
anything.
Hardest just in terms of like it being difficult to train.
I think incorporating into your lifestyle and all that stuff like that. Anyway, so I'd say 3-legged dogs are pretty much the easiest.
Yeah.
You see 3-legged dogs.
Too,
You see 3-legged dogs at the dog park. They're hauling ass, jamming around, having a great time.
And just to throw in there, you say like, I don't know why people are scared of them. I think, to be honest, I think they're not really. I think rescues will use that sometimes as like a good like. It's
emotional
like,
pull.
No one wants this dog, but I don't think people are like totally anti that.
Yeah, but that could be true, but I can also see people being worried about a 3-legged dog. Like, what does it mean when they're 10 years old? Are they going to be problematic? Are they not going to be able to walk and things like that? I don't know, but from what I've seen, 3-legged dogs kick ass and don't seem to. They don't even know that they're missing a leg.
Idea.
They might even be faster. They've like got rid of like dead weight. So I'd say the 3-legged dog is probably the easiest. Next, under that, deaf dogs. We've worked with a ton of deaf dogs, and deaf dogs seem to do really, really well. So they can't hear because they're deaf, but they can see, so it really helps. The visual sensory thing really helps dogs feel comfortable in their environment. And what we found is that getting to the third one, blind dogs tend to struggle. What I've seen the most, the sensory deprivation of the visual tends to be pretty anxiety inducing for a lot of dogs. Now I know there's blind dogs out there that are kicking butt and everybody's cool and great and that's awesome, but you're asking me what I've seen. What I've seen are 3-legged dogs jamming. I've seen deaf dogs, we've had tons of them, they've done great, and I've seen blind dogs only a handful, but they've struggled.
Yeah, they're struggling.
They've been overwhelmed because they can't see what's going on. They're freaking out. Their noses are going like overtime. Their ears are going overtime. So they're overstimulated in these senses. But the visual, which I think is so, and everybody's like, dogs are only like everybody's talked about, like, it's so nose centric. Yeah, but like, it's so visual centric.
Yeah, running into wall, you can't like smell a wall.
No,
I'm gonna run.
Imagine. So this is a good conversation.
Maybe you can.
Imagine having like an incredible nose.
Yeah.
And then not being able to see what it's connected to.
Yeah.
So you're out on a walk, you're smelling all this stuff, but you can't locate what it is or what's going on.
I think the exception to that, in a little bit of a way, is a dog that's had sight for a long time and then started to lose it.
I'd buy that.
But typically that comes from just an older dog. So
yeah, the ones we've seen. I mean, I remember one Pitty in particular. I don't know if you were here when we were working with that dog.
Attached to the other dog.
No, so that was one.
Oh,
So
the white.
So
Pitty that was
we
here.
did have a deaf and blind Pitty.
Yeah.
That was like, wow, that was challenging. And we actually did attach him to the other dog in the house, and that worked really well.
Yeah.
But we had a woman here who had
rescue.
had a blind dog, and just, it was so overwhelmed, overstimulated at such a high level that we were doing e-collar heel, and it couldn't like manage or maintain itself. So my only question or my only unknown in that would be, were there other factors going on emotionally, mentally, cognitively for that dog? And I was just assuming that the blindness was the main cause. I can't say for sure. I can't say for sure, but I've seen a handful of blind dogs, and I've seen all of them be struggling pretty tremendously. So that would be my list. Would be 3. Deaf, and then blind.
Yep.
And if you really want to like knock it out of the park, get yourself a 3-legged deaf and blind dog and like just go kick some butt.
I am an amazing dog trainer.
Put them in a wagon and like, yeah.
We did it.
Are we done?
Introduce the show.
Okay, guys, we were a little slow on the draw. Hey everybody, it's Sean from The Good Dog, and this to my left, without Forrest today, but it's been kind of quiet, is the lovely and childless, almost said Forrest Morgan, but that's not your name, Laura Morgan, and she's still got her same baby nails, everything's cool, and all the stuff you can't see, like the CJ's droopy balls, well, they are.
Oh, he's old.
But they're handsome.
Oh,
testicles.
Thanks.
Yeah. No, I mean, he carries them like a man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's every bit a man. So, sorry guys. Cujo.
It's a late night.
Anyways, guys, everything you can't see is The Good Dog's Q&A. Almost said TGDA. Wow.
Do it. Go.
It's The Good Dog's Q&A episode number 120.
Wow, you did awesome. 7.
Right? See, I work positive reinforcement.
Good.
I'm learning. If you stop punishing me, then I can actually process. I'm highly stressed. Anyways, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much. Thanks for being patient with the book. It's coming. We've done our thing.
Book's
It's
coming.
in God's hands. So off it goes. And we will chat with you guys soon. Take care.
Bye.